Hi, Shivani. I wanted to chat with you today about creative fatigue in digital ads. So, can you tell me a little bit about what creative fatigue is?
So, creative fatigue basically occurs when an audience sees the same ad too many times. So, what this leads to is kind of declining engagement, lower click through rates, and higher cost per clicks, which we kind of see over time. And a lot of times people think that this only impacts your top funnel metrics, but it also has an impact in your bottom funnel conversion metrics too. So even if people are clicking, they won't convert as well as you'd expect them to. So essentially, overexposure causes users to ignore or even become annoyed by an ad over time.
How frequently do we encounter this, like with clients and things like that? Do we find that this is like a very common thing for brands?
Yeah, no, creative fatigue is like very common. Even the biggest brands that aren't necessarily investing in a high volume of creatives and creative iterations, like we see this across everyone, even smaller brands too, who don't have capacity to be cranking out new creatives at all times. So it's really important that depending on kind of the industry that you have, depending on the audience that you're targeting and your budget level, that you do your own test in figuring out when are your creatives starting to fatigue. So this is like a really simple test of you launching new creatives and then seeing how long do your CPCs and your click-through rates kind of stay consistent until you start seeing them drop off. And then once you start seeing them drop off, that gives you an indication that, hey, for this audience at this volume of spend, at the maybe 4 week mark or the 5 week mark is when I start seeing creative fatigue sort of settle in. So it's really important that you do your own testing for this.
Interesting. And this question might be varied, but I'm curious, do you find with many brands that like it just takes a small tweak, or do we need like a whole new creative campaign? Like, is it a new creative campaign we need, or is it like we can change a color, we can swap out font? Like, what does that look like?
I recently just ran this for one of my clients, and all we did is we took the same ad, we just swapped out the colors. We changed
Hmm,
what the colors look like. Headline, copy, messaging, everything stayed the same. Even the creative elements stayed the same too. The only thing that we did was just change out the colors, and we saw an immediate uptick in click through rates, CPCs, and even conversion rate, which lasted up to 4 to like even 6 weeks. So, really simple kind of updates across your creatives can have a really big impact in your overall performance. But it's really important that you're constantly doing this and you're constantly testing this out.
interesting. This seems like a really good use case for almost AI in some ways, right? Like, it almost feels like it's easier than ever to make those, not for the big campaigns, but
Yeah,
just for the small changes. Is that fair to say, or
no,
no?
100%. You can totally leverage AI. And like, I know a ton of ads managers have those tools now kind of available where you can kind of go in and ask it to change out the color or change out kind of what you're highlighting or even the copy. And then AI can support you with like relaunching those. It's just you'd want to be more. Like with AI, there's a big question around like whether or not it's actually going to stay within your brand guideline. And so for clients specifically, we right now are not recommending doing that. But I think if you're a small business, like you should definitely test it out.